everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. Now, as you know, I like to make boxes for my cards. It always finishes the card off and makes it much nicer to give to the recipient. So what I'm going to do is make a small box for this card. This card is a 15 centimetres square, and as always I decorate the inside, but we're now going to make a box to go with it. So to start with the box, because this is a 15 centimetre square card, you're going to need to leave about 3 centimetres on each edge to fold up and make the card. So this is just a plain A4 card, and I have two pieces, one for the top and one for the bottom, and I'm going to cut these down to 21 centimetres. The card is already 21 centimetres that way, so I'm just going to make it into a 21 centimetre square. So how do we determine to cut the A4 card down to 21 centimetres? Well, what you do is you decide how much depth you want to your box lid. Now this is 2.5 centimetres. The card is 15 centimetres. So what I've done is I've allowed 16 centimetres for the card so that it fits into the box quite easily. And then I've allowed another 2.5 centimetres on each side to make the box lid. So I've measured this at 21 centimetres, so that's 16 centimetres for the card and 2.5 for each side. And then if you score and fold it in at 2.5 centimetres, that will give you the depth of the box lid. Once you have your two 21 centimetre squares, just work on one at a time. So we'll work on this one. This is going to be the box lid. Now for this I'm going to use an old mouse mat, I'm going to use a scoring tool, and I need a ruler. So what I'm going to do is measure in on each side 2.5 centimetres and just make a little mark. Now along, I'm not going to mark it, but along those two lines I'm now going to make a score mark, and I'm going to repeat this on the other three sides. So once you've done that, you can remove your little marks on your card. So this is still the lid. Now on opposite sides I'm just going to use, it's just a circle punch, just going to use it and place it half on to the card, and if you cut that out and do the same on the other side, that just gives you a little grip to lift the box lid off. Now with the wrong side down, I'm just going to cut out these little corners. So all you do is cut up the corner and then take out the small triangle on one side, and on the other side I'm just going to take out the small bit as well, and again I'm going to repeat this on all 4 of the corners. So once you've finished, you should then have that kind of effect on your box. This is your box lid. Now once you've done that, you're going to fold in all the edges, and again use your bone folder to just burnish the card, and just fold it all in. And then when you've done that, I prefer to use a wet glue, because double-sided tape dries out. So all you're going to do is just add your wet glue to each of your corners, and then you're going to fold that little edge in and make the corner to your box. And then what I do is just clip it with a miniature peg and just leave it to dry for a little while. And again, repeat the process on all 4 of the corners. And then just leave it to dry. So once you've done that, you've got your pegs in place or your paper clips to keep the box together. Just pop it on one side and leave it to dry, and now we can work on the box base. So the box base obviously needs to be slightly smaller than the lid so that the lid will fit on top of the base. So you still have your 21 centimetre square card and you're still going to make your marks, but this time if you find your 2.5 centimetre mark and make it just a tiny bit wider. So there's 2.5 and I've just gone to the right hand side, going towards the 2.5 mark, the 3 mark, and make your little mark. And again, do that at the top and the bottom, just slightly wider than 2.5. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your bone folder and you're going to score the card on all the sides. So once you've scored all your sides, and don't forget it's 2.5 centimetres for the box lid, but 2.5 and a little bit more for the box base. And you're going to repeat the process of cutting the corners and creasing the card up and gluing it together and leaving it to dry, just as you did for the box lid. Once everything's dry, you can take your pegs or your paper clips off, and if you look, this is the lid and this is the base, and you can just see a slight difference in the size. So this one, the lid is measured at 2.5 along each of the edges, and this one is measured at 2.5 plus a tiny bit more. So now when you've completed it all, it will all just slot together with your card inside. Now what I like to do is decorate the lid to match the box, and that's what I've done. I've used a piece of the same pink card, I've used the same stripy paper, and I've added some ribbon. I've fastened it on the back with some double-sided tape, and I'm just going to add this to the box lid with some wet glue, and that just keeps everything in place. And now we have a very pretty card with a matching box.